I cover saw and then I buy. Hey guys, so this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So today we'll be filming my July book haul, which in July I both purchased and received a fair few books. Definitely one of my biggest months for purchasing, that's for sure. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time in another town at my partner's place and there is a Big W there and I've bought, I think, 10 of these from Big W because Big W books are usually between like $12 and $14 for paperbacks. And if you buy them from even Booktopia or Angus and Robinson, which are the cheaper options for bookstores, they're usually like $15 to $20 and at like QBD they're like $20 plus. So that is why I always go and check Big W whenever I go in there, and I found a lot of these books there. So yeah, we've got a fair few of the purchased books are from Big W, but I've also got a fair few eARCs, and I'm also going to talk about the books that I've saved on my SCRIBD, the books I've got on Audible, all of that jazz. We're going to talk about all of it. So first we will start off with the eARCs. I didn't get any ARCs this month actually. I got one the day after this month ended, so you know, but I didn't actually get any in July. I only got eARCs. So firstly we have A Golden Fury by Samantha Coho. I think that's how you pronounce it. I believe this is a YA fantasy. If it's not a YA fantasy, I'll put it in the screen, but I'm pretty sure it was. I'm using my hands a lot today. But A Golden Fury comes out 13th of October, so I have a fair while to read that one just yet. I'll probably leave it till September, but super keen. And it also has like a gorgeous cover, like whichever side I put it on. I don't know, depends what I feel like. Maybe it's on this side, now it's on this side, I don't know. But yeah, gorgeous cover, which is what originally drew me into it, because I had actually heard of this book and I went into it and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I read the synopsis and it sounded interesting, so I requested it. And here we are. Next we have Fable by Adrienne Young, which I'm currently reading. I am really enjoying it, 82% through, should be finishing it tonight. But yeah, I got this one on eARC, another one with a gorgeous cover. Like, just the cover in general is stunning, but also if you look in the details, there is a ship reflected in her eye, which I think is really cool. It's like a little nice touch. But yeah, really enjoying this one. It comes out 1st of September, which is why I'm currently reading it so I can get it done for September. Next we have Shadow in the Empire of Light by Jane Rutley. This one is another YA fantasy. They're generally YA fantasies because that is what I request. But as soon as I read a synopsis, I forget about it, so, which is a good thing because I like going into books not knowing anything. But it's also not a good thing if I'm trying to explain something to you guys. So don't expect me to know anything about any of these books. So yeah, that one comes out 19th of January 2021. So that one is way away yet. I will probably read it within the next like couple months and just schedule my review to slightly closer to the date of release, because you don't want it too far advanced because then people forget about it between then and when the book actually releases. So yeah, it'll probably be, review will go up closer to the date, but I hopefully will be reading it sometime in the next couple months. Then we have Firefrost by Camille Longley. This one I'll be picking up very soon, and also another freaking gorgeous cover. Also Shadow in the Empire of Light was a gorgeous cover, but Firefrost, this cover is stunning. I love the combination of the fire with the snowflakes. It is just gorgeous. Absolutely love this cover. Another YA fantasy, I believe. This one comes out 21st of September, so not very far away. Definitely will be reviewing it within the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But yeah, definitely keep an eye out for my review, and also go and pre-order this because I don't know if it's good yet, but like that fucking cover, guys. Then I received The Celestial Gate by Avatil Dicker, which I have already read and reviewed. I'll leave that link down below. Not my favorite. Yeah, you can go read my review if you want to know any more about that one. But that one came out, no, it comes out 9th of August. So it will probably be out by the time this video goes up. Maybe, depending on when I get this up. But yeah, I have reviewed that one already, so I'll leave a link down below. But definitely not a favorite. Then we have From Fire and Shadows by J.F. Baptista. This one I only got approved for yesterday. I'm pretty sure this is a YA fantasy. I requested it a little while ago, I think. And it comes out 15th of August. So I only got approved for it yesterday, which was the last day of July, and it comes out in 2 weeks, basically. So I need to read that one in the near immediate future. But also, another gorgeous cover. Like, what the hell is going on? Like every single one of these, but kind of one, I'm obsessed with the cover, which is The Celestial Gate, because it is nice, but it's not like, oh my god, this is stunning. Every other cover, I'm like, oh my god, this is stunning. Next, we have Law by Alexandra Bracken, which I can't wait for this. I loved the Darkest Mind series by Alexandra Bracken, but I never read the 4th book. Probably should say that. I read the first 3 and loved. And then Law releases 5th of January 2021, so it's still ages away, but I'm so keen to have this, and I hope to again read it soon and then just schedule my review because I really want to know what goes on in this book. I have not read anything about it. Like, I literally did not even read the synopsis when I requested it. I was just like, Alexandra Bracken's new book. Yes, thank you. So I requested it. The next one, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the author's name because I will butcher it and just, no. You will see it on the cover, but the book is War Girls. Again, another stunning cover. This one I think is a YA sci-fi. Might be fantasy sci-fi, but I'm pretty sure this is sci-fi. This one comes out 8th of September, so not too far away. It looks really good, and I believe the sequel was also on NetGalley, I think. Yes, both of these are on NetGalley. War Girls releases 8th of September, and Rebel Sisters, which is the sequel, releases 20th of October. Both 2020, according to NetGalley. I don't know why they're releasing like a month apart, but apparently they are. So yeah, they're both on NetGalley right now. Same with Fable. Fable's sequel is currently on NetGalley as well. So literally as soon as I review this, I'm going to go request that because I want to know what comes next. But yeah, so both of them were on there. I'm not sure what the release date for the second book is. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, I'm super curious. It looks really cool. The synopsis intrigued me. I can't remember what it is now because otherwise I would not have requested it. Lastly, for eARCs, we have Ever After by Olivia Viewage. This one is a graphic novel and it is a YA fantasy. Super curious about this one. I love getting graphic novels to review because I love reading graphic novels, but they're also super expensive. So yes, and considering the amount of money I spent this month, I probably could have afforded a graphic novel, but they're still expensive. So this one comes out 1st of September, so I'll be trying to read this one in the next few weeks. It won't take me long, obviously. It's a graphic novel, so I'm not too stressed about it. But yeah, super curious and also stunning cover. What is going on? So I'm going to try and get through these a little bit quicker because we still have a lot of books to talk about. Next, we have the only book that I've picked up from the library in July. I picked up some in June and returned them in July. But the ones I actually picked up in July was Invictus by Ryan Gordon. I'm hoping I might be able to get to this one soon. Otherwise, I might have to give it back and try again another time. But with like the readathons coming up, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get time to read this one, but hopefully. But this one has been on my radar for a long time. I have still not read Wolf by Wolf, but is on my 20 books to read in 2020 list. So I'm hoping to get to that very soon. But yes, I'm super curious about this one too. And also, stunning cover. Am I drawn to covers this month? I think I am. Picked this one up from the library. If I get read soon, cool. If not, I might pick it up another time. Now, on to the physical books I picked up. These are in no particular order. I'm just picking them up off the pile. First, we have Day Zero by Kelly Dovis. This is a dystopian, I believe. I did read the synopsis when I picked it up. I think it was like a thriller slash dystopian, something along those lines, but it sounded really, really interesting. I picked it up in Big W and I'd not actually heard of it before, but the cover caught my attention and I read the synopsis and it sounded really interesting. So I decided to pick it up. And literally on the back, it says, if you're going through hell, keep going. I support that. I like that. It also says on the front, those who panic don't survive. So that's kind of scary, but yeah, I'm super keen. And also this cover is really pretty. I'm going to stop saying the covers are pretty. Okay, the covers are all pretty. Next we have The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. This one is an adult fantasy, I believe. I think this is historical, but this cover caught my attention. I had seen it on Bookstagram a couple times and I was intrigued by it, but then I saw this in Big W and I was like, I need that book. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I need that book. I did read the little bit of the synopsis on the back and I was intrigued, so I did read the synopsis before I picked it up, okay? I didn't just cover buy, I cover saw. And then I buy. Super curious about this one. And as I said, I believe it is adult. So I'm curious about that because I do not read enough adult fantasy. And I think that's mainly because a lot of adult fantasy, like the popular ones, are like huge. Whereas this one is like, it's only a little book. It's only like under 400 pages. So I feel like that's more capable than like a 500 to 600 page Brandon Sanderson book or anything like that. Next, I picked up Cursed. Now this one, it's by Thomas Wheeler and it has illustrations by Frank Miller. This one, I saw the bit on Netflix for it. Like I saw the trailer on Netflix and I was super curious. And then I walked into Big W literally the next day and this was there. So I decided to pick it up because the trailer looked really interesting. I'm going to try and read the book first and then watch the series. But if you guys have watched the series or read the book, let me know because literally it's like popped out of nowhere. I don't know if this was a book previously. I don't know when this was published and whether it's just recently been adapted. It says published in 2019, so it's not that old, but like, where did this pop out of? Is there just like another cover to this book and I've probably seen it? I'm like, oh yeah, I actually know what that is. But because it's got the movie cover, like the TV, I just hit myself on the glasses. Because it has a TV show cover, I don't recognize it. I don't know, I probably should look that up. Next we have Vanishing Deep by Astrid Schult. This one, I'm really curious about this book. It sounds really interesting. I love this dual, like, this is matte, this is shiny part of the cover. It sounds really interesting, but I tried to read Four Dead Queens, which is Astrid Schultz's, I believe, debut novel, and I did not like it. I ended up DNFing it. So I'm not sure about this one. I'm gonna give it a go. This is a completely different genre because that one was YA fantasy, and I believe this one's thriller, or at least, is it thriller? I don't know. If it's thriller, I'll put it on the screen, but I think it's a thriller. It definitely looks like a thriller. Like, look at this cover. It looks like a thriller. Maybe that's what's giving me the vibe. Maybe it's fantasy. I don't even know. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one, but we're going to give it a go. Next, we have The Mongolia Sword. This is The Ballad of Mulan by Sherry Thomas. This is a Mulan retelling. I'm super curious. I've read one Mulan retelling, which was Flame in the Mist, which I did not like at all. So we're gonna see. I love the original Mulan story. Flame in the Mist just didn't do it for me. So we're gonna see how we go with this one, but this one sounds really interesting. Gorgeous cover. Next, we have one of the only 2 books on this list we have actually read. I don't know who we is. I have actually read The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodora Goss. This is the 3rd book in the Adventures of the Athena Club, and I read this last month, and I read the first 2 books that month, or the month before that. Absolutely loved these books. I read them all in ebook and then had to go and buy the physical books. They're stunning, amazing series. This is like a YA mystery fantasy. It starts off like more mystery than fantasy, but then the fantasy elements definitely bump the fuck up. This also has like a badass team of women. Like the entire main cast is women because it's just a bunch of girls in the Athena Club. The Athena Club is for women. So yeah, women with interesting abilities. But yeah, absolutely love this. Highly recommend it. It's definitely one of those ones that's under the radar and more people need to read it. Next, we have the other book that I've read, and that is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This one I read ages ago, like literally years ago, and I remember enjoying it, but I never ended up continuing the series. So I decided to pick this one up when they did the re-release with the new covers, which are stunning. Definitely a lot better than the old covers. This makes me want to read the book, whereas the old covers I was like, okay. But The Iron King was actually one of the first books I ever read on SCRIBD because it was one of the ebooks on there, and that was like when I very first got SCRIBD ages ago. So yeah, I want to do a reread of this, and then if I enjoy it now, because obviously my taste may have changed, but if I enjoy it now, then I will continue the series. If not, I'm just going to DNF it. Well, not DNF it, but I'll just, you know, sell it, move on. The next book is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is my 2nd copy that has arrived of this book. I still have not read it. I've talked about this in my August TBR because I'm hoping to get to All the Stars and Teeth, but I loved the original hardcover. Then I saw the OwlCrate hardcover, so I purchased the entire box just to get that book. I don't know, I really hope I like this book. And then I saw this paperback, which is also stunning, and it's completely different from the hardcover, so I decided to grab it. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to enjoy this book because I have 3 copies, so let's hope I enjoy it. But yeah, super keen to give that one a go. Next, we have The Lost City by Amanda Hocking. This is the first book in a new trilogy, I believe it is, set in the same world as her Trial trilogy and the Canaan Chronicles. So I read Trial and Canaan freaking years ago. Like, they were one of the first series that I read. I got the first book in the Trial trilogy, which is called Switched, out of a Dolly magazine. Which, yes, I used to read Dolly magazines. I'm not sure why, because I never actually really read them. I kind of just bought them for the free gifts that came with the Dolly magazines, which one of them was a book. So that was cool. It kind of started my like love for reading. That's kind of like where it initially branched, and then there was kind of a break, and then it branched off with like The Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner. So yeah, but I really enjoyed that world. I have not reread them in like any time recently, which I will not do because I want to keep the memory for how they were as they were, because I do not think I would like them as much now as I did then, just because they are fairly romance heavy and it's just not something I'm a fan of anymore. So yeah, but I'm hoping I'll like this one. It's set in the same world, so I'm super keen, but yeah, if it's too much, if it's too whatever, I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea. But if it's too anything, I'll just DNF it. But yeah, I'm not going to reread the other books in preparation for this or anything, because I just want to keep my memories and my love for them as they were instead of being tarnished if I reread them. Hopefully that makes sense. Next, we have Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. This is the author that wrote I Am Still Alive, which I have not read yet, but it was a thriller, and it had that really awesome cover, and it was always on my radar, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I think I have the ebook. No, I think I have the audiobook on SCRIBD, and I really want to get to it because it looks really good, and I heard some really good reviews about it. This is her next book, and if like, how creepy is this cover? It's like the forest, but there's also this chick, like that's her hair, and there's like hands and stuff. At first I did not realize that, so to me I found it creepy. I'm super curious about this. I did read the synopsis when I picked this up, and it sounds really intriguing, so I'm super keen. And this is also told in like a different format, kind of similar to Illuminate, but not quite to that extent. But it's like interviews and written testimonies, and what else have we got? Video evidence, interviews, written testimonies. Maybe that's the three, and exhibits. So yeah, it's written kind of mixed media. So I'm even more intrigued because when I first picked that up, I didn't realize when I was filming the clip for my reading vlog, I think I realized that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm even more excited about this now because I love mixed media books. So yeah, super keen. Then we have The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I have read, what's that series by her? Warcross. I never continued to the second book though. I do own it. I think it's still over there. I'm assuming it's still on my shelves. But yeah, I never continued the series, but I did really enjoy Warcross. So I'm really curious about this one. This is a fantasy rather than a sci-fi, so I'm curious about that because I've only read sci-fis by Marie Lu so far, but also gorgeous freaking cover. So yeah, but I'm super keen for this one. Sounds really interesting. The last books for the physical books I have purchased recently is Queen of Storms by Raymond E. Feist. It still annoys me that these freaking books do not have capital letters. Why? King of Ashes is the same. So this is the sequel to King of Ashes, which I have not actually read yet, but I am planning to read it during Tome Topple. It will be one of my priority books to pick up during Tome Topple because I want to read the second one now that I have it. I'm assuming this is going to be a trilogy or a bigger series. I'm not sure, but like based on previous by the same author, like that entire page is previous books by the same author. So I'm assuming there's probably going to be a few of them. But yeah, this is set in the same world, I believe, as one of the other series, but I have not read anything else by Raymond E. Feist. I will be starting with King of Ashes. Actually, you can see it right there. It's on, that's my current TBR card. So yeah, I really want to get to that. I did start reading King of Ashes and I was enjoying it, but it was a little bit slow. It is adult fantasy, so very dense, very much like a lot of world building and that type of thing. And I was going into a reading slump at the time, so I decided to put it down for my reading slump and not continue with like a slower book. And I went and picked up something more fast paced and more action packed. But I did enjoy what I read, and I read like 130 pages. So hopefully I will enjoy it and I'll be able to pick this one up as well. As for ebooks I've purchased, I believe there was only one, The Dawn Chorus by Samantha Shannon, which is 3.5 I think in the Bone Season series. I have not read this yet, but I really need to very soon because it's like really short. It's a novella, but I absolutely adore the Bone Season. I cannot wait for book 4. Like I've read the first 2 books twice and I've read The Song Rising through once, so that's like the 3rd book. But yeah, I'm so keen. I love the Bone Season, so I cannot wait for the next book. And this is kind of like a little novella just to tide you over while you're waiting for the 4th book that has been coming for fucking years because she decided to write a monstrosity of a book called The Priory of the Orange Tree between books in her series, which I'm still pissed about. Like, I need the Bone Season. Like, Priory of the Orange Tree, I tried reading on audiobook. I ended up giving up on it. Like, it's fine, but it's just really long. But I need the Bone Season, okay, people? I need the Bone Season. Next we have the books I purchased on Audible. So 2 of these were actually rereads, but I didn't have them on Audible, so I decided to grab them. So we'll start with the one that's not a reread. So the first one is The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. I've been hearing people talk about this book for like literal years, and I think it was Piera from Piera Ford recently read this and was like, why didn't you guys tell me to read this sooner? This book has been on my radar for a very long time, and then it popped up as one of the suggestions on Audible, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna listen to it on audiobook. So that is what I will do. Next, the 2 ones that I purchased that I were rereads. Firstly was Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel, which is the 3rd book in the Themis Files. I had read this entire trilogy on audiobook before, but I didn't have Only Human. I believe I had it on Kobo. I think it was Kobo, I'm not sure. I had it on another program, might have even been on SCRIBD, I'm not sure, but I decided to grab it on Audible because I didn't have it on Audible. So really recommend this series. It is an adult sci-fi. It is pretty hard hitting, like it's pretty extreme. But yeah, highly recommend it. It is really good, and I highly recommend the audiobooks because it's told in interview form, and with the audiobook you have the narrators and it's a full cast narration, so it's awesome. It sounds like you're listening to like a podcast or something, but yeah, highly recommend The Themis Files. Then I also grabbed the audiobook for House of Salt and Sorrow. So I did read this one a while back physically, but then I decided to reread it on audiobook because I decided to make some candles based on it for our store, Dusk Angel store, link down below. Yeah, so I wanted to listen to the first couple chapters because I just wanted to check that I had all the sisters, because spoiler alert, the candles are named after each of the 12 sisters. Yes, there is 12 of the candles. Yeah, it's pretty intense, but we're doing it. I personally love the series, so I'm okay with having them. Even if they don't sell, I'm okay with having them. So yeah, and then I ended up, after reading those couple chapters, I ended up just keep listening to it. So really enjoyed that one. Obviously it was a reread. It is very weird, very creepy, kind of like hard to follow at times, but also really good. But definitely creepy. And also while I was listening to this, like it was towards the end and it was up to like one of like the kind of tense creepy parts, I was just sitting on the lounge in the front room, minding my own business, and a fucking bird hit the window behind my head and I nearly shit myself. Next, we have the ebooks that I saved on SCRIBD. So I saved The Red Queen and also Lost Boy by Christina Henry. I cannot remember either of the books' names. I read a Red Riding Hood retelling. I think it was Red Riding Hood. Yeah, I think I read Red Riding Hood retelling. And then I read Alice, which is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. Both were really good. Nothing like each other. The Red Riding Hood retelling one is a dystopian, really, really good. It was really gripping, absolutely loved it. Alice was good, but it was also really fucking weird and really creepy. Also trigger warnings for like fucking everything. Rape, murder, like really detailed murder, full on rape, yeah. There's a lot of trigger warnings for that book. So yeah, Red Queen is the sequel to Alice, so I want to read that one, and Lost Boy is one of the other books. I believe it's a Peter Pan retelling, and I was just curious and I saw it pop up on SCRIBD, so I decided to save it because I did really enjoy the first two books I've read by Christina Henry. Then I saved Fence Volume 1, and because I read it in, what month were we in? July. So I'll probably be continuing the series, so I'll probably will go ahead and save the other volumes, but I saved Volume 1 this month and I read it and I really enjoyed it, so moving on. Lastly, we have 4 audiobooks very quickly that I saved on SCRIBD. So first we have The Beholder by Annie Bright. This one, super interesting cover. I did read a synopsis ages ago and I remember sounding very intrigued by it, but I can't remember now. I believe it is YA fantasy, I think. Super interesting. I keep seeing this cover like pop up on Bookstagram as well, so I'm super curious to see what this is like. The next book that I got from SCRIBD, next audiobook I saved, is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Marrow. This one I've been seeing a lot about recently, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement currently happening. I've been seeing a lot of recs for Black authored books and also just books with people of color, which is freaking awesome. This is one of the ones I kept seeing. I believe this is a YA fantasy. I think it might be something to do with sirens. I did read the synopsis, but I can't remember synopsis. Okay, I'm sorry. I just don't remember them. But yeah, I remember being intrigued about this one, and it was on a list of books that I would possibly purchase, but then I saw it on audiobook, so I decided to save it. I will hopefully listen to that very soon. Then we have Black Girl Unlimited by Echo Brown. This is another one that was on the list of books I wish to purchase soon, and also another one I keep hearing about because, again, the Black Lives Matter movement. So yeah, I saw this one as one of the new releases that popped up on SCRIBD, so I decided to save it. Last one is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. I have not heard too much about this. I've seen the cover around, but I haven't actually heard too much about this. This is another new release that just popped up on SCRIBD and I decided to save it. This one is probably the one I'm least likely to actually read out of those 4 books, because it is a contemporary and I'm not a huge fan of contemporaries, but if I am in a readathon and there is a challenge that involves a contemporary, I tend to have like a few of them saved on SCRIBD on audiobook to listen to because, like I said, I'm not a contemporary fan, but I do prefer listening to them on audiobook. So I always have a couple saves. That way, if the need arises, I have a contemporary. Finally, that is all the books that I purchased / received / saved in the month of July. So it was a lot of books. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have read any of these books, let me know. If there is any I need to push up on my TBR because they're awesome, let me know. And that is it for now. I will see you guys in the next video.